Hey guys, so today's Thursday, January 9th, 2020. Happy New Year. And I want to do an update video about my Lyme disease. So many of you have watched my video that I uploaded here a few years ago talking about all my symptoms. Like it was a really hard battle, and that was actually I uploaded that video before I had any treatment, or this was just like me finally finding out that I have Lyme disease. And I posted a bunch of other videos after my treatment. Like, I received ozone therapy treatment along with antibiotics. So the first round of treatments took about 5 months. I did have like a minor relapse the following year, so I had to go back to Europe. Okay, so I began my ozone treatment in September 2016. It ended in January 2017 when I came back to Canada from Europe. I felt okay. I actually felt a lot better. I was experiencing a lot of Herxheimer reactions, so I maybe started to feel better like in the spring, like around May or June. And unfortunately, in the fall, I began having these like minor symptoms and sensations here and there that would come and go. And I was like, maybe that's just how it's gonna be. But then, fast forward a few months later, now we were in winter of 2018, and I really started having a lot of symptoms. They were not as bad as before my treatment, but I started having excruciating headaches that would just last like 2 or 3 weeks nonstop. Like, Advil wouldn't help, like nothing. I also had like pins and needles here and there, and abnormal heart rhythms. So I had more like heart flutters and like heart palpitations. So I went back to Europe. I got tested. Turns out that I did have a minor relapse. So once again, I decided to go with ozone treatment, which at this point, I think I only did about a month and a half, and that was enough. Came back home, felt a little brain fog, didn't feel too good. Had some Herxheimer reactions, and then I felt fine. I felt amazing. And I went back to Europe again. So in the spring of 2019, I got tested, and for the first time, I didn't have a relapse. So, like, the test was negative. It just showed that I no longer had Lyme disease. I get tested on this. It's like a machine. Okay, I don't know the name of it. I'm gonna put it down here later once I find out the correct name. It actually detects to see if you have Lyme disease bacteria like in your tissues. Then that's where it likes to hide. That's why it's more accurate than a blood test. So I was actually really relieved that for the first time I had nothing, and it's been a year. So I was like, okay, finally, I'm cured. Whether it's like 100%, I don't know, but I was really happy with the result. So I felt fine all summer, all fall, 2019. Okay, so now fast forward to winter 2019, so just like a month ago or so. I began to notice like small little things that were becoming more frequent, such as heart flutters. I could feel them pretty much every day, and sometimes they were like really strong. I had a few instances where I experienced like heart palpitations, and I could like feel my heartbeat, and that would like go on for like 4 days. So I do wear a Fitbit, and it shows me my heart rate. So normally my heart rate on average, like when I'm sitting, like 56 to like 65. And during those days, my heart rate was elevated. It was always at like 72, 75, reaching 80. And I could actually feel my heart. Like I could hear it and feel it like in my ears, you know what I mean? So these two separate instances, I really felt it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, why is this happening? But then I started noticing these like random little like painful sensations in my whole body. And that's basically like before my treatments, that's what I felt all the time. Something like in my muscles, like either twitching or like these like really sharp kind of like knots here and there. And after my treatment and after everything was resolved, I never felt anything. For 5 days, the main, I don't know what it's called, but like the muscle in my left butt cheek was just twitching pretty much all day, nonstop. And once again, I was like normally that stuff just doesn't happen. But all of a sudden, I'm noticing like twitches, all these sensations, more frequent heart flutters. Like, why? What's happening? Well, let me tell you. Like I said, it's January 9th. I want to say maybe like 5 days ago or so, I noticed changes in my vision. Okay? So if you watched my last video, you will know that I had some serious vision problems. They were more like at the beginning of my neurological problems. That's why I was misdiagnosed with MS. So I had like optic neuritis, the inflammation of like the optic nerve, or so they thought, right? Even after my treatment and everything, the vision in my right eye, it never went back to normal completely. The colors that I see and everything, they're a little different than in my left one. And like, I know that the vision in this eye is just more sharp and like brighter, but like in a good way. About like 5 days ago, I was like, oh, something feels weird. When I did a simple test, cover my one eye, I look at things around me. Okay, I can see fine. I cover this one, and I was like, oh no, there's like these little floaters that I can now see, and my vision is, well, back to what it used to be when I had Lyme disease. That really scared me. And just like what used to happen in the past, my vision gets worse when there's heat applied to my body. And so basically, if like the temperature rises, right? So this happens in 3 different situations. First one is the obvious one, when I take a hot shower. Doesn't even have to be super hot, just warm enough to raise the temperature in my body. Number 2, when I drink something hot, coffee, tea, that'll do. And third, when I'm out in the cold. Obviously your body is cold and it's trying to fight the cold, so the temperature goes up because your body's trying to stay warm. So those are the 3 instances when my vision gets even worse. So normally, yeah, when I cover my left eye, I can see these like little floaters and like my vision's not like 100% sharp. But then when there's more heat, it gets even worse. And I just thought, wow, this is not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Because that probably means that I may be heading, or not heading, it probably means that I have yet another relapse. And the bacteria obviously never went away 100%. It was just hibernating, and after some time, it has woken up, and it's making a great comeback. The Roaring 20s. Still trying to make jokes. Trying to stay positive. But anyway, so I've been like observing my vision the last few days. It hasn't gotten worse, hasn't gotten better. So I'm thinking, okay, in the past, if I had these like episodes, sometimes my vision would actually get better, and like this particular symptom would actually go away. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll just give it some time, it'll go away, and then I'll think of what to do next. And yeah, I actually have plans in the New Year's. I actually enrolled in like the short-term program at my college just to gain more qualifications for later on in life for my career. So I'm supposed to be starting on Monday, and it's not online, it's in class, so I'll have to be there. And everything's like set in stone, like I got approved for my student loans and everything. Like my tuition is due in like a couple weeks, so like I can't just back out. Tonight, something more scary happened. So back in the day, once again, going back to all my symptoms, I used to have really bad vertigo, like dizziness, like head spinning. The head spinning, that's when I actually feel like the insides, like it almost feels like my brain is literally spinning inside. So when I'm trying to stand straight or walk, I feel like I'm falling. So this is what happened today. I I do this like freelance work with a bunch of clients at a hospital. What happened was I parked my car in the garage parking lot. So obviously, like, I had to climb a couple floors, and when I parked, it's a parking garage, so my car was actually like slanted a little bit, like on an angle, right? Because you know how it kind of goes up and then. So when I parked, my car was not just parked flat; it was parked like this. So I turned my car off, and I kind of felt like a little like ugh, like something's not right. I'm like, why do I feel like a little dizzy? Like, that's weird. But I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just like a sensation because my car is like a little slanted, right? So, no big deal. I walked out, walking down the hallway, and I'm like, okay, I'll use the washroom before I meet with my clients. So I walk in the washroom. There's like a lot of like stalls, so I just kind of walked in, turned right, and I just kept walking straight. I had to put my paperwork, my coffee, like on the counter. And I'm like standing there and I'm like, oh my God, I still feel like a little like dizzy and weird. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I'm just looking around and I'm like, oh my God, this is a familiar feeling. It's just a feeling that I haven't felt in a really long time. So at that point, I was like, okay, maybe I'm still just kind of feeling weird because of like the parking spot. I don't know. I was just trying to come up with reasons why I'm feeling like this. So I went to use the washroom, and I walked out. I kept walking down the hallway. Like, I asked someone for directions because I couldn't find the room. Finally, when I stopped, all I felt was like these pins and needles just traveling from my feet all the way up my legs, all the way up to my torso. Just like this. And once again, that was a symptom that I used to experience usually when I walked. I don't know, I don't have scientific medical explanations as to why these things would happen. I just know that they did, right? And after my treatment and everything else just went away completely. So when I stopped, I was like, oh my God, I can feel these like tingles, pins and needles all over my body basically. There was like a bit of a miscommunication and I actually didn't have to show up. So this client is like trying to talk to me and explain what happened, and I'm just standing there and I can just feel like my brain freaking spinning inside. And he's talking to me and I'm trying to like keep a straight face and like I'm trying to listen and like make eye contact. There's actually two people talking to me. I'm like, should I just tell him that I don't feel well? But I'm like, I didn't want to because I'm like, I'm in a hospital. Like, I don't want to make a big deal. Like, you know. So I'm just like, yeah, sure. Like, I just like trying to like cut him off basically. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is not, I'm like, oh my God. But I still have to talk to one more person and just like look over some paperwork. And I had to actually call her because she wasn't at her desk. So I called her from my cell phone. I'm calling and I'm standing there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not going away. Like, my head is still spinning. She finally showed up and we just had to like look at something real quick. Looking at stuff and like reading, and she's like, oh, like, can you show me, like, point something out? And I lean forward and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like taking off my glasses, like hoping that will help. Like, I don't know. And I'm just like, oh yeah, like right there, like see where that says. And I'm like, yep. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Okay. And I just started walking. And for some reason, like when I walked, I actually didn't feel as dizzy. It was more just when I stopped and I was standing, paid for my, parking, started driving, and I'm just like, oh my God, like what just happened? Like, and I just put the two and two together and I'm like, okay, great. First, I began noticing vision changes, and now I had this like episode where my head was like spinning, and I haven't felt this way in a really long time. So I pulled out of the parking garage, started driving through like the main parking lot, and I just completely broke down because I'm thinking like what is happening? Like, is this something that is just forever going to haunt me? Like, I'm gonna keep going back for treatments, feel better for a while, and then I'm just gonna keep having these relapses. I'm thinking, like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, I'm thinking I'm supposed to be starting like a 1 year program, but I'm thinking, like, okay, if I just back out right now, I'm gonna lose a bunch of money and I'm still gonna have to pay. The only thing is that if I were to go right now, chances are the bacteria like hasn't spread. If I do the test like shows you on a scale from 0 to like whatever hundreds, and that kind of shows you like how severe your infection is. But then if I wait until the summer, I only have a 2 week break in June. If I wait another 6 months, that number is gonna keep getting higher and higher, as well as I'm gonna keep having more and more symptoms. And it's gonna be hard to study. How the hell am I gonna be able to do that in the next 6 months if I potentially have a relapse? And it's obviously gonna get worse, right? The more time that I spent not treating it, the worse it's gonna get. And then 2 weeks is not gonna be enough for treatment. But then again, I really don't know what to do right now. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to tell you that is what I've been dealing with and what I've been going through. So, long story short, after my long, extensive treatment of ozone and antibiotics, felt fine, but I still had a bit of a relapse because that's what the doctor told me. Like, I had chronic Lyme disease that God knows how long I had it for. My guess was approximately like 12 years, 13, 12 years before I began treatment. And she said, yeah, it'll likely come back. And she actually said to me that I should have gone back to get tested after 3 months after my initial treatment. But it was just, I was not able to do it due to financial reasons. Hence why I had to wait a little longer. And yeah, in fact, I did have a relapse and I needed more treatment, but this time it was only like a month and a half. She said that after the second time, like, that hopefully should be the last time. And yeah, since I went back a year after my treatment and the test didn't show anything, and I actually knew that I felt fine, because the 1 year before, when I had, like, I would say a minor relapse, I felt it in my body. Like, I just knew it. I'm like, I know it's back. And then I tested, yep, it was right there on paper. And when I went spring of 2019, I was like, I feel fine. There's no way that I have a relapse or anything. Tested, nope, nothing, zero, negative. But right now, with the more frequent heart palpitations, little, like, pins, needles, whatever, muscle twitching, vision, and now this intense head spinning, it's almost like I know that I do have a relapse, like, most likely. And I know if I were to get tested, like, right now, it would show something. My treatment started in 2016 in September. Now we're in January 2020. So basically, I finished my first treatment 3 years ago. Had to go back for another short treatment, and it's still not over. It's like, it just keeps coming back, and that is something that I just don't know how to deal with. And at this point, I don't even know, like, what to think. I don't know what to think, and I don't know what to do, because it's like, I thought I finally beat it. I thought I got better. Looks like it didn't happen. and I'm just thinking, like, how many more times am I gonna have to go back? And another thing is that, as you know from my first video, like, I live in Canada, and I'm not even officially diagnosed in Canada with Lyme disease. That's the hard part, and it sucks because, like, I can't receive the same type of treatment. Well, anyway, I wish that I had like better news for everyone and for myself. I mean, I don't want to go through this again and again. It's really bad, like, for my mental health, and thinking that you're better and then like you're pretty much back to square one. I don't know what to do. And yeah, I tried so many things. Like, I also tried like some herbal remedies, and like, just, I really don't know if there's anything that can like truly beat this son of a biatch 100%. I just don't know. And like, it's also pretty ironic. This is just like on the side note. I was reading something today. I was scrolling through the comments, and someone commented, "Oh, and Justin Bieber has Lyme disease now," and I was like, "What? What the hell?" And I googled it, and I don't know how the hell I missed it. What? Like, Justin Bieber has Lyme disease now? Like, oh my god! Like, I honestly, I don't even know. I feel like this is such a horrible freaking parasite that's just like ruining everyone's lives all around you. And I'm sure there's thousands of people that have no idea they have it. And I don't know. I wish I could say there's hope, but like, I don't know. What I can tell you though is like, the treatment that I received, it does help and it does work, right? Even if it's temporary. So even if I have to go back every couple years and, well, not really be tied down to a job or have a career, because if I have to go back and take like a month or two off or longer every year, how can I ever hold an actual job? So that's another thing. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't freaking know, but it sucks. So I will just wrap this video up, and I'll keep you posted if I have any other news or if there's any more symptoms that I have in the next few days. Sorry for the long video. Thank you for watching.